What if I told you that you could completely change your whole year without waking up at 5 a.m., without motivation speeches, and without turning into a productivity robot? No ice baths, no screaming affirmations into the mirror, and definitely no hustle harder nonsense. Just 1%. Sounds too small to matter, right? Good. That's exactly why it works. Today, I'm going to share a simple Japanese idea often called the 1% rule, and why it quietly transforms lives while big, dramatic plans fail every single time. Let's start with a question. Have you ever made a huge plan for the new year? Gym every day. Study 2 hours daily. Eat healthy. Sleep early. Fix your life by February. And then, by week 2, your motivation packs its bags and disappears like a ghost. Yeah, same. That's because your brain doesn't hate success. It hates sudden pain. And the Japanese figured this out a long time ago. In Japan, there's a philosophy called kaizen. It simply means continuous small improvement, not massive improvement, not overnight success, just tiny, almost laughably small progress every day. Now here's the part that changes everything. The Japanese 1% rule says, improve by just 1% each day. That's it. 1% doesn't scare your brain. 1% doesn't trigger panic. 1% feels so small that your brain goes, yeah, okay, fine, I guess we can do that. But here's the math your brain doesn't notice. If you improve just 1% every day for a year, you don't end up 365% better. You end up 37 times better. Not double, not triple, 37 times. That's not motivation. That's math quietly working in the background. Let's make this real. Imagine you want to start reading. Most people say, I'll read 1 hour every day. Day 1, strong. Day 2, still okay. Day 5, tired. Day 10, book becomes a decoration. Now try the 1% way. Read 1 page. Not a chapter. Not 20 pages. 1 page. That's it. Your brain doesn't resist. You finish it in under a minute. And something interesting happens. Because starting was easy, you didn't feel stressed. And because you already started, you might read 2 pages. Or 3. Or maybe not. Doesn't matter. You still won. That's the secret. The goal is not to do more. The goal is to never stop. Japanese students use this mindset all the time. They don't wait to feel motivated. They build systems so small that motivation becomes irrelevant. Let's talk about studying. Most students think studying means suffering. Long hours, burnout, pain, so their brain avoids it. Now imagine telling yourself this. I'll study for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes is harmless. You waste more time deciding what to watch on YouTube. So you sit down. Set a timer. 5 minutes. Sometimes you stop at 5. Sometimes you continue. But again, doesn't matter. Because the habit survived. And habits are more powerful than motivation will ever be. Here's a funny example. Imagine trying to push a broken car. Pushing it hard for 1 day won't move it far. But pushing it gently every day eventually gets it rolling. Once it's rolling, it's easier to keep moving. The Japanese 1% rule is about starting motion, not forcing speed. Now let's talk about why this works psychologically. Your brain has a built-in alarm system. When something feels too big, it triggers fear, resistance, and procrastination. That's why big goals feel exciting at night and impossible in the morning. But 1% improvement slips past that alarm. It feels safe, non-threatening, almost stupidly easy. And your brain says, okay, we can survive this. That's why people who follow this rule are insanely consistent. Not because they're disciplined superheroes, but because they remove the pain from starting. Let's look at fitness. Most people say, I'll work out for an hour every day. 2 weeks later, the gym membership becomes a donation. Now try this instead. Do 1 push-up. Yes, 1. You're probably laughing right now. That won't do anything. Exactly. It won't hurt either. And because it doesn't hurt, you'll do it tomorrow. And the day after. And soon, 1 push-up becomes 5. 5 becomes 10. 10 becomes a habit. And habits don't ask for motivation. They just happen. This is why Japanese companies love kaizen. Factories improve by tiny percentages. Workers improve skills step by step. No dramatic changes. No chaos. Over time, the results look unbelievable. But from the inside, it always felt easy. Now let's talk about something most people ignore. Bad habits. The 1% rule works here too. You don't need to quit junk food overnight. Just eat 1% less. You don't need to quit social media completely. Just reduce it slightly. Your brain doesn't feel attacked. so it doesn't fight back. And that's the real enemy, your own resistance. Here's another example. Imagine cleaning your room. Your brain sees the mess and says, "Nope, too much. I'll do it later." Now apply the 1% rule. Pick up one item. That's it. One shirt. One book. Usually, once you start, momentum kicks in. But even if it doesn't, you still improved. That's why this rule works for lazy days, tired days, bad days. You don't need a perfect day. You just need a tiny action. Now here's the part most people miss. The Japanese 1% rule is not about speed. It's about identity. Every small action sends a message to your brain. I am someone who studies. I am someone who reads. I am someone who takes care of myself. Over time, you don't chase goals anymore. You act according to who you believe you are. And identity is powerful. When you believe you're the kind of person who shows up, even for 1 minute, you stop quitting. Let me tell you a short story. There was a man who wanted to learn English. Every method felt overwhelming. So he decided to learn one word per day. One word. People laughed. But after 1 year, he knew over 300 words. After 2 years, he could hold conversations. After 3 years, people asked him how he learned so fast. Fast. That's the irony. Slow progress done consistently beats fast progress that stops. Every time. Now let's address the biggest excuse. But 1% feels too small. Yes, that's why it works. Big goals feel exciting. Small actions feel doable. And only doable things get repeated. The Japanese understand something deeply. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need perfect routines. You need repeatable ones. Think of brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation. You don't need inspiration. You just do it. Imagine treating your goals the same way. No drama. No pressure. Just daily maintenance. That's the 1% mindset. Let's apply this to your whole year. Instead of asking, "How do I change my life?" Ask, "What tiny thing can I improve today?" Drink 1 extra glass of water. Write 1 sentence. Learn 1 concept. Take 1 deep breath before reacting. These tiny actions stack quietly. And one day, you look back and realize, your year changed. Your habits changed. You changed. Not because you worked harder, but because you stopped quitting. That's the real magic. The Japanese 1% rule doesn't promise fast results. It promises something better. Results that last. So here's the challenge. Don't try to fix everything tomorrow. Just improve 1 small thing today. Make it so easy that failure feels silly. And then repeat. Because when you respect small progress, big change has no choice but to follow. 1%. Every day. That's how a year quietly transforms your life.